Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash the subscribe button, hit the like, all of that good stuff. So Otto Wallin made a successful return to the ring. He stopped Travis Kauffman in 5 rounds. Obviously this was Otto Wallin's first fight since that loss to Tyson Fury. That fight was back in September last year. Obviously, Otto Wallin in that fight really surprised people with his performance. I mean, he arguably gave Tyson Fury one of the toughest fights of his career, so after that fight, Otto Wallin, his stock really did rise. Despite him losing that fight, just because he put in a really good performance. So his stock did rise after that fight, but he never really capitalised on it due to inactivity. Obviously, that's partly not his fault due to COVID. But, it's been a long time since we've seen Otto Wallin in the ring. And, against Travis Kauffman, he got the job done, basically. First 2 rounds were actually semi-competitive. Otto Wallin was kind of sticking and moving in that southpaw stance. He was kind of feeling around, popping the jab out, trying to maintain range against Kauffman, who was really trying to apply pressure. The first 2 rounds were pretty competitive. I felt Wallin did the better work, so I did score those rounds to Wallin. But, Travis Kauffman had a bit of success here and there. He got to the body, landed a few body shots. He landed a couple of decent overhand rights here and there. But, first 2 rounds, despite Kauffman having some success, I felt Wallin won those rounds based on activity, basically. But after the second round, Otto Wallin, he really kind of settled into the fight. After the second round, Otto Wallin was a lot more consistent with his jab. He was throwing that jab, doubling it, tripling it, and he was landing that straight left behind it. He was also doing some pretty good work to the body now and again. At times he would dip down, land a hook to the body. And yeah, as these rounds went on, Wallin was being more and more in control, and he was starting to piece Travis Kauffman up. In round 3, 4 and 5, his uppercut also came into play, which is a pretty good shot of his. And yeah, he was just being a bit more expressive in terms of his offense. Now, a lot of these shots that Wallin was landing were kind of arm punches. He wasn't really getting full purchase into his punches, but he was touching Kauffman up and he was outlanding him significantly. In this fight, Otto Wallin wasn't as aggressive as he was against Tyson Fury. In this fight, he kind of reverted to type. If you saw Otto Wallin before the Fury fight, Wallin was much more of a boxer, a guy who liked to stick behind a high guard, ping the jab out from a southpaw stance, and he'll try and pick you off from range, basically. He likes a boxing match. That is what Otto Wallin's style is. But obviously against Fury, that went out of the window. He changed his game plan up, he changed his style, and he was much more aggressive. So I think that actually indicates that Otto Wallin is actually a fairly versatile fighter, and that is good going forwards, as he climbs through the ranks. Being able to do more than one thing is always a good thing. And yeah, in this fight, I felt Otto Wallin, he basically boxed within himself, didn't set the world alight, but he was solid across the board, a satisfactory performance from Otto Wallin. And the fight ended in round 5. Basically what happened, Travis Kauffman, I think he threw a left hand, like a wide left hook, and he landed it funny, and basically he done something to his arm where he got injured, and yeah, he couldn't use that arm. Otto Wallin landed a few hard shots and the referee jumped in and waved it off. Essentially, Travis Kauffman really couldn't defend himself. So in my opinion, that was a good stoppage. So all, in my opinion, a good performance from Otto Wallin. Hopefully we see him back before the end of the year. There's a couple of fights I would really like to see Otto Wallin in. The first being, and this is my priority, I would love to see Otto Wallin fight Robert Helenius. I think that's a great fight for both fighters. It's a battle between 2 Nordic heavyweights. And yeah, that fight makes a lot of sense to me. I think both guys have allegiances to the PBC, so potentially that's makeable. I think that makes a lot of sense for Otto Wallin, because if he were to beat Robert Helenius, that would obviously be the best win of his career. And also Robert Helenius is actually quite highly ranked in the IBF and also the WBA, I believe. So that fight makes a lot of sense to me. I think that's a good fight for both guys. Another fight I would like to see from Otto Wallin would even be someone like Dominic Breazeale. I know the guy is obviously coming off a bad loss to Deontay Wilder and he's not been active, but Dominic Breazeale, he's a big lump, he's durable, he can punch, he's a 2-time heavyweight title challenger, again another guy with a PBC, so potentially that fight's makeable. And I think that's a solid fight for Otto Wallin at this stage. These are the sort of names I would like to see Otto Wallin in with next. And hopefully he comes back towards the end of the year. He is saying actually in the media he would like to fight once more this year, like maybe in December. So yeah, interested to see where Otto Wallin goes from here. Hopefully we see a step up because, like I said earlier, the guy put on a really good performance against Tyson Fury, never really built on it. He's got some catching up to do. So next fight, I think we need a bit of a step up. But yeah, all in all, a pretty solid performance from Otto Wallin. We'll see where he goes next. It's been your boy Del Boy. I am out. Peace.